pizzas, or for ordering pizzas, scofflaws get caught. Scofflaw is somebody that ignores like parking tickets and small things. But when you read the article, it says the big three pizza companies, deliveries, they know when a felon or somebody who the law wants to know where they're at, that your order, when it's entered in the computer, goes through the federal government first, and that the three companies get 25% of the money from any fines or fees or arrest just from ordering a pizza, to give you an idea how they are tracking you for folks that aren't aware of this. And I'm just giving you a few little pieces of how massive this is. Now, with the big surveillance blimps they put at 90 to 110,000 feet in the atmosphere that they've now announced, they have ground-penetrating radar, face scanners, infrared scanners. They use ground face scanning cameras off your digital photo to identify, yeah, that's Alex Jones walking down the street. The blimp then zooms in and through integrated systems, this is all declassified now, and says, okay, we're going to get the live read right now of his thermal image. They'll have to send a team out with a scope. Okay, that's Alex Jones. Let's get his thermal image to get the reading. They've already got my face print for my digital photo when I went and got my driver's license and my fingerprint. Okay, and then companies that thumbprint and face print you to go to the tanning salon or get your school library books or to go to the gym, those are all sold to databases, just like the big pizza places. It's big money. See, the private corporations lobby for this and work with the police state. Yeah, the hidden dangers of pizza. And it says the extra cheese and pepperoni could give you away to officials. In Missouri, said they may track scofflaws by monitoring pizza delivery list. David Copeland of the state courts administration said pizza databases could be used as an untapped resource. Yeah, that's not out of USA Today. That's another one about them doing it. They're already doing it. That's an article saying they might. The USA Today admitted they were doing it. But anyways, to finish up here, but good job finding that, guys. To finish up, so when we get up here and we talk about they could send a SWAT team to your door with this. This is to track and control you. This is to track and trace you. This is all admitted. You walk out front of your house, they know where the GPS reading is, they've got the blimp ready, and it just takes a scan in a few seconds of your heat residence, and now it knows where you're at. They have these over Iraq. That's the secret weapon. He said, well, it's not really secret, but I won't write about it in my book. Everybody said, oh, what's Bob Woodward talking about? It's this. It's this technology. MIT Magazine admits it. So they love to brag about what they've got. So that's what all of this is about. Do you own guns? What are you doing? Are you an Obama supporter? They're using this GPS reading. And I remember talking to people a decade ago in very rural areas in the last census. This began in 1999. People in rural areas, we went out and interviewed them in Johnson City and other areas in the hill country. There'd be a log cabin somebody built out on 20 acres they had that nobody even knew about that was for camping. And they'd have notices on their door, and then they'd be able, and they'd catch people there with the satellite images of the house saying, okay, who lives here? They are tracking everything. They want to militarily dominate. That's what the global positioning system is with the Pentagon satellites. It was designed so they could shoot a cruise missile through your window or down your chimney. This is a control grid, and people are denying that they're even using this for the census right now. They're even emailing me and saying we're making it up that census workers are at people's doors. Let me read to you from NPR, and then we're going to our guest in Mexico City, and the census worker faces dogs, guns to verify addresses. Pahrump Valley News. It's still a year before the 2010 census, but already 60 census workers have fanned out across southern Nye County, that's in the middle of the desert in Nevada, in an attempt to verify addresses. But in a sneak preview of some of the thorny situations census takers could face in Pahrump, the address verification led to a few surprised property owners, including an incident where a gun was pulled. She was in their backyard, and talks about that. It goes on, they're just driving up, checking the addresses outside, making sure the correct address. And it goes on to say, I don't want to read the whole article. Our guest is talking, waiting. But it says in here that they are using GPS to track them. So I'll read that after we get a report from Mexico City. I guess he contacted us, or my producer pointed it out. I'm not sure, but I'd already seen his video. And up there, it's a George 4 title. And the only news he really reported from YouTube in Mexico City was that they were locking it down where food and water couldn't get in. People were demonstrating, so riot cops were going off to deal with that. So reporting from Mexico City with what's happening, the YouTube channel, George for Title. George, what's going on there in Mexico City?
Hey, Alex, pleasure to be on the show. Right now I'm on the streets of Mexico City, and just what I'm seeing is a lot of people with masks on, And the funny thing you're really seeing a lot down here is people are wearing the mask, but they're either wearing them incorrectly, like over their necks or over their heads, and their nose are still exposed. And if you actually look at the masks that the governments give out here, they don't protect you at all. I got a video of it. They're just really thin material that wouldn't protect you from anything.
It's a visual archetype of hysteria. It's all part of the play acting. Like when cops wear black uniforms, they act more aggressively. Or when Elmer Fudd puts on a hunting cap, he starts acting like a hunter. Or when a woman puts on, lingerie, she on average becomes more sexually aroused. This is all psychology. Explain to folks what you've seen. I mean, a lot of folks have seen the video of the masked paramilitary police marching off. To me, that's the story, is that it's the non-story, and they're using this as a way to crack down on the population with the military. That's what a lot of Mexicans calling us from Mexico City have said.
What I've seen here is a lot of military vehicles in the streets. We've even seen a patrol actually loading up, and the weird thing about it is they were loading up, it looked like, with their own personal gear. I mean, they had colored backpacks, and it was just really weird. I got a lot of information on my YouTube channel that they said, hey, this is a weird type of operation. They have riot gear, but they don't even have any weapons, and it looks like they have their own personal clothing and their own personal tents that they're taking with them. So that was really strange, and we got really close to that vehicle that was loading up for that operation. We had one gentleman, one of the soldiers that was actually approaching us. My taxi cab driver that I'm using is really smart guy. He took off right away, and we were able to be, okay.
Absolutely. I've been shaken down more than once by Mexican police and troops in Mexico. Very corrupt. So, I mean, just an overall view. Are people still panicked? Are the streets still somewhat empty compared to what usually that mega city is, the biggest city in the world?
When I first got here Friday, it was literally a ghost town. I had a hotel in downtown Mexico City, and I could swear to you, I was like one of 3 people that were staying in this hotel. That's the biggest story I'm getting down here. It's hard to imagine 20 to 25 million people on almost total lockdown. You can't get into a restaurant. I mean, they got special rules. If you can only get takeout. The taxi cab drivers have to wear gloves. They have to wear masks. I mean, there's all these regulations. And what I'm getting from this whole experience is just the sheer authoritarianism that the people are willing to accept down here. It's just totally blows my mind. It's just incredible. I mean, literally, people are starting to come out because they're just getting tired of staying indoors. But many businesses are closed down. I would say like 80% of the businesses are closed down. I mean, people are hurting. They're losing money. If you own a small business, you're not allowed to open till May 5th. There's so many restrictions. They fine you thousands and thousands of pesos if you try to engage in business here because of this.
Well, Mexico applied.
Influenza.
Yeah, Mexico applied to go under IMF global currency SDRs, Reuters and AP reported, and they're the first major nation to do this. And so, in a way, it's like a bank holidays going on. We know this is a beta test for as revolution brews to a paramount point. They know how to kill these flashpoints of revolution with a fake flu drill. And I believe, and so does Dr. Jerome Corsi and many other experts that have studied this, that's why they came out and said, end of the world. People had to take this serious. The people getting scared in the theater when somebody yells fire, they're not the bad people. It's the guy that yelled fire. And the government came out and fear-mongered and did this. So I understand why folks got concerned. I got concerned. Many others did. But my instinct from the day one was this may be real, but I think it's a hoax. We had a lot of different perspectives here on air, but I always said I believe it's a hoax to practice martial law as a smokescreen for a takeover. And the Mexicans calling from Mexico City and others, they all concurred and said that's what they were saying before they even heard me on the show saying it. So a lot of people are saying that. The Mexicans you're talking to, though, they are saying, you're confirming that they think this is all just a cover for police state?
I've probably personally interviewed or talked to about 30 to 40 Mexican citizens, and I would say the majority of them, 70% of them, know that this is basically fake. I don't know how to say it in any other words, but they know something's going on. And the 30% that do think something's going on and they're wearing their mask, a lot of it's kind of like a trend. I mean, they're drawing designs on their masks. It's kind of like, they just go along. But
yeah, these are the 30%. These are the 30% in Mexico, the U.S., Germany. It doesn't matter. marketers have documented 30% will buy any bull, any fad. They're total followers. And then another 30% are kind of in between, and 30% are very hard to fool. This show is all about the 30% that